are these people?
Right. So you were at the PEN America Literary Gala is where you were at.
Not as a guest, but
okay.
I was there. Yes.
Gotcha. I have to make sure that these names say the right names on them.
And they don't.
Right.
I'm indie, apparently.
I never switch these names. I remember the other nameplates, but these ones are like always. And then I had to remember Ricky has a this instead of a Y. There you go. So I will bring up some information. So the annual PEN American Literary Gala is a highlight of the New York literary and social calendars, with hundreds of guests and an exceptional group of leading writers who sit among them as literary hosts. This year's celebration took place Monday, May 23rd at the American Museum of Natural History. The evening begins with an elegant cocktail reception, followed by dinner under the whale in the museum's Hall of Ocean Life. You can watch the full program below, browse videos, and read remarks from our honorees and featured guests. The proceeds from the dinner are crucial to PEN America's dynamic cultural programming and critical advocacy work on behalf of free expression. For more information on the PEN American Literary Gala, please contact the special events team at this place. So here were some of the people showing up, right? I'm sure you saw a few of these people. The host, Faith Saley, I guess is who that is. Mm-hmm. We've got Zadie Smith, Jack, that's a crazy name because it's probably Ukrainian, right? Pitoksks, I imagine. Something like that. This guy's definitely Ukrainian. Vladislav Yespinko, Don Katz, some of the presenters, one of them, Michael Douglas, Cory Booker, both were there, as well as Ruth Nega and Asia Kate Dillon. Whoever those people are. I wish I knew. Interesting. I found this. I don't know if you got to eyeball this, Ricky, but this was all their sponsors, right? Yep. And so on and so forth. So yeah, we've got like the Penguin Random House is like their biggest one, right? You know, but just if you look through, there's some notable ones for sure.
Bloomberg, The Atlantic,
Amazon Literary Partnership. The Atlantic, right?
Publishers.
Yes, I'm looking for this one over here. Oh, the Telly, Fajardi, and Weinstein and Bose Weinstein. So love to have some Weinsteins show up for things. You know. Yeah. But yeah, so there's that, and you can go on down the link of like their patrons, which like Books A Million and the New Yorker. And like Warner Brothers,
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yep.
Why not?
What else we got? Scholastic. Yep. Scholastic. Wonderium. Skybound. First Republic Bank. You know. Blackstone, of course. I'm just looking over here. These are like committee members or whatever. The Beringers. I was looking for anything in specific that I remember. Yeah, the Weinsteins are also on that committee member group. But anyway, I just figured we'd bring some of that. So what was your experience of this event, Ricky?
Before I get into my critique of the event, I just want to preface that by saying everyone was quite nice and pleasant. So I don't, before I start being very critical of what I witnessed there, you know, it's one of these events where this organization really prides itself on free speech and combating censorship, you know, protecting the First Amendment. That's what this group is all about. They've been around for years and years and years. People like Meryl Streep and the like show up to their events on the regular, right? So this is not like an exceptional year for them. This has been happening for many, many years. Apparently, I didn't know much about it, to be honest. It was kind of off my radar. I guess I'm not one of the coastal elites that gets invited to this kind of event. Yeah. But I was working this event, and when I started hearing like what this group's all about, I'm like, wow, that's really timely and relevant, even though they've been kind of this kind of group for years. And then I realized, yeah, this is not really really about protecting free speech. When you really dig in, you have some of these speeches where they talk about protecting our democracy and anti-Russia sentiments and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing this here at the free speech
Right.
gala in America. Oh, okay, cool. So it's just one of those events where you're like, the idea, it sounds great at first, and not every speech was bad. Like Zadie Smith is fantastic. She's a brilliant woman. She kind of sticks out because she's not really someone who, like, she, even in her speech, she's like, I'm not someone who like does these kinds of things. I'm not on any committees. Like, you're honoring me and I'm honored, but like, I don't even know if I deserve this because I don't bump elbows with the people. Like, I'm just a writer and that's my gift and that's what I give people. She was pretty cool. Zadie Smith was cool. And she brought up something which, in her speech, which kind of challenged the audience. I feel, and I feel like she knew it because she's a brilliant writer. She knows how to like kind of challenge her audience just enough. When you're at a gala like this, you kind of play to the liberal elites that come there. So you really ramp up the Ukraine, support Ukraine stuff, and they just, oh, look at us, we're so we're so
it's
great.
Like 9/11.
Yeah, 9/11, clap, clap, clap.
Right,
we're so great.
Right.
We're so great. We're such good people. That's what that crowd is. But Zadie was literally like, I often wonder, why a Ukrainian child is looked at like a victim or as a victim, and a Syrian child is looked at as a statistic. Yeah. And like, there was a few people that like really started clapping. I was in the back clapping like immediately. And there's a few people that really started clapping. So she got an applause break, but it's because a few people like got it. Yeah. Like when you say Ukraine there, everyone's like, oh, and they all clap together, like, right. Completely in sync. Ukraine, just, oh my God, we have to
blindly supporting whatever.
Yeah. Ukraine. And everyone just claps. Yeah, it's like that. But when she said that, when she compared Ukrainian children to Syrian children, there's a few people that really clapped, and they clapped hard too, because they get it. There's a few in that crowd that really get it, and that gave her the applause break. And then other people joined in because, oh, okay, I'll join into that. Sure, I'm a good person. So it's that kind of crowd.
So I have this that I brought with us this evening for. This is from the Bradenton Herald, which, like, I feel like it fits this event really well, the name. But I just thought it was funny the way they were phrasing this whole story, right? So it's like they honor activists, artists, and dissidents, right? And from an imprisoned Ukrainian journalist to a high school activist in Florida, PEN America paid tribute Monday night to democracy and free expression and warned about the dangers faced in the U.S. and abroad. Instead of being able to focus on menial responsibilities such as schoolwork, my generation has been forced to rapidly mobilize and fight for our future. Florida teenager Jack Pototsk, a prominent opponent of the state's so-called Don't Say Gay bill, said Monday, if our collective voice couldn't make a difference, then they wouldn't be trying so hard to silence it. Marking its 100th year, the literary and human rights organization held its annual fundraising dinner gala as some 650 authors, publishers, editors, and others gathered at the American. We know all this.
Right.
Literary Service Award, and Audible.com founder Donald Katz apparently was also there. So, they talked about this Ukrainian guy currently serving a 6-year sentence in a Russian labor camp for his reporting in Russian-occupied Crimea, was presented in absentia the PEN Barbary Freedom to Write Award given to political prisoners. Yaspinko's wife, Katrina, introduced by actor Michael Douglas, spoke on his behalf. So
like the censorship that they were really focusing on this entire evening was like 3 things. It was don't say gay bill, the book burning, like, as they call it, or removing books from schools. So it's like 2 things that are specifically like DeSantis centric culture war things, basically. And the third one was this Ukrainian journalist who got apprehended and I guess imprisoned by Russians in Crimea, Vladislav Yasypenko. who wasn't there because he's still imprisoned, as far as I know, and his
Right.
wife showed up
Allegedly.
to accept this award. Allegedly, I don't even know. I mean,
Right.
you never know about some of these stories, to be honest.
Right.
But yeah, he was detained and captured by Russians.
Yeah, so some
but
presenters cited personal affinities with the honorees. Douglas noted they had ancestors from Eastern Europe. Katz was introduced by Cory Booker of New Jersey, who recalled that when he was a mayor of Newark a decade ago, Katz made the city his base for his audiobook producer and distributor. Audible was the first major company that moved to Newark when I was a mayor. Booker said people had given up on Newark. People ignored our city. People had declared our city dead. Smith, the British author known for such novels as White Teeth and On Beauty, wondered why she was receiving an award for literary service. And this is what you were talking about, right? As she acknowledged Monday night, she has largely confined her service to writing books, having headed no committees, avoided literally every board I could, ducked out of the way of open letters and literary petitions as if they were lobbed hand grenades. It's a great line. She contrasted herself with such author activists as Simon Weil and Albert Camus and James Baldwin, expressing her awe and respect for them, while calling her work its own kind of contribution, stating that, thought too is a form of action. I know what I am. I'm a novelist. I sit in my room. I write. I read. Sometimes when my children come in to ask me to do something, they will say, you're literally doing nothing. She said, to you, I want to confess I consider it my vocation to put whatever linguistic gifts I have at the service of language itself. But yeah, Michael Douglas was there with his, little Ukraine little lapel here. Got his Ukrainian lapel looking good. 77 is what Michael Douglas is. He's still married to Catherine Zeta-Jones, which, like, good for him.
I mean, that's infinity. How long they've been together for forever,
a while,
so like Hollywood years. So.
Yeah. But he did. I stand with dude, this name is ridiculous. Vladislav Yespinko. So yep. But I just thought it was interesting. I looked up some of the other when I looked up the channel for like PEN America, the YouTube channel, the banner was like Hillary Clinton and like some other lady. Yeah. So yeah, super fun time for you, I bet.
I mean, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but it's just really a bummer when you hear them talk about censorship, but then they don't talk about the people that are getting pulled off of YouTube or social media. They and they talk about Vladislav Yespinko, but no word on Julian Assange.
Right.
They don't talk about the Kiev hit list that Ava Bartlett is on right now and other journalists are on right now. Like, it's such a narrow scope, and it's only what they approve of. They talk about the book banning, but like, these are the same people that would freak out if like the real Anthony Fauci ended up in their kids'
God forbid
library.
Kids get their hand on a Steinbeck novel, or right. They're the same. Right. They're the same ones.
Yeah. So it's just like culture war nonsense and pro proxy war nonsense is all it was. And I remember like the most powerful moment of the night when people were filing out to go to the little after party, cocktail for the road party that they do. I looked over, and all these tables at the beginning of the evening had these beautiful displays of books as the centerpiece, which is actually really cool. And they encouraged everyone to take books. They had tote bags on the chairs, and you could just fill up your little tote bag with books that you wanted to take home. And they encouraged everyone to take all the books. And I remember looking over at the table right next to me as they were filing out, and all the books were gone from this one table except for a single book. And I look over to see what that book was that they left, and it was Snowden's Box. And Snowden's Box is all about truth in the times of mass surveillance.
Yeah.
They left that book. And I was like, that pretty much sums up the entire evening for me.
Crazy.